back in New York, got in last night and was absolutely shot. Had a really fun trip in LA. Had a great time with everything we did. There was Politicon, then we did TYT on Monday, and Tuesday we had Joe Rogan. So, little quick rundown for those of you who haven't seen the videos yet. You could check them out. They're all on the YouTube channel. But in my mind, my favorite panel was probably the first one, the Should We Be Socialist panel. The second panel I did, which I think was early Sunday, was my least favorite panel. If you've seen any of my other videos catching you up on what's happening at Politicon, you'll know why. What was interesting was the Can We Get Along panel, because Charlie Kirk agreed with me on the death penalty. He agreed with me on Saudi Arabia. He agreed with me on ending the drug war, which I was very pleasantly surprised about. So apparently there are some issues where we can get along. I mean, I think that the libertarian right and the libertarian left, just, the anti-authoritarian people can actually agree and work together on many issues. And when we don't, let's fight like hell. Let's really argue for our positions, because that's healthy and that's what democracy is. And we don't have to agree on everything. But when we do agree, we should work together to try to get the proper policies implemented. So that was very nice. As I had spoken about the other day, my debate with Scotty Nell Hughes went very well. I mean, we probably agreed on maybe 65% of issues. There were a few areas of disagreement, Israel being one of them, and Medicare for All being another one. But yeah, you could check them out. I had a good time. I know you guys wanted to see me rip off Cowardly Coulter's head, but of course she backed out of the debate. Somebody just tweeted me a clip of Ben Shapiro in his keynote speech said the left is afraid to debate. I floated a debate with you before Politicon. Right after Ann Coulter backed out, I submitted a list to Politicon and said, here's the people that I'm willing to debate. I tried to get people of similar stature in terms of how well they're known to Ann Coulter, because I didn't want you guys to feel like, there's any downgrade or anything. And they all said no. They all passed. So it's really weird that Ben Shapiro is saying, oh my God, the left won't debate, yada, yada. I just floated a debate with you. I just did it. So anyway, that's enough on Politicon. TYT was fun. Some of the videos from TYT when I was there are now being uploaded on the Secular Talk YouTube channel. Rogan was awesome. There were some great zingers in the conversation I had with him. It was a very substantive conversation, but it was also very funny at times, where we would just talk shit and then, randomly start talking hardcore policy substance. My line about Ann Coulter, everybody seemed to like. How she's basically so smug and elitist that she was saying, well, why would I debate this internet person? He's below me. How many bestsellers does he have? And the serious response is, bitch, I don't write books. But that doesn't mean anything. I still have, now what's about to be 600,000 subscribers on YouTube. We get about 300,000 views a day on the Secular Talk YouTube channel. This is what I do. So it's just a category failure for her to think. And that's such old school thinking. Like, Joe Rogan seems to get it. He understands, new media is just media. If you're known, you're known. Ann Coulter's like, get me somebody who was big in 1994, like Rob Reiner. That's who I want to talk to. Well, that's why half the time I call you Ancient Ann, because you're old school and you don't know anything. And also why I call you Cowardly Coulter, or Snowflake Ann, whatever. We have a lot of nicknames for her, as I'm seeing now. So the bad news is, when I woke up this morning, I went to the Apple store to get the old trusty Mac checked out, and there's an issue, a hardware issue, so it needs to be fixed. They got to send it out, and blah, 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 blah. It's going to cost a shitload of money and all that stuff. So that sucks. I won't have that back for maybe 5 days, 7 days, something like that. Now, I am shot from this trip, not going to lie to you guys. There's a lot of mental energy that's spent, and you jumping from one thing right to the next thing, and you feel like you don't have a moment to catch your breath. Didn't sleep that well on the road. I usually don't sleep well on the road. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a break before the next show. Today's Thursday, and I think the next regular Secular Talk show that will be done is on Monday. I think that's what's going to happen. Now, I will try to do a Secular Talking Smack live stream where I'll take some super chats. We'll do that on Saturday. So in 2 days, we'll do that on Saturday. You guys can ask all the questions you want about Politicon, and we'll chat it up for a few hours. But yeah, that's the update. I guess while I'm here, I may as well, and my arm is fucking killing me. You guys always bitch about, oh, why don't you hold the camera sideways? Bitch, it's hard. That's why. I like the other way's easier. But I guess while I'm here, I may as well touch on some of the big news stories while I've been gone. Of course, the biggest one being the bombs that are being sent to a variety of prominent Democrats. Hillary Clinton had a bomb sent to her at her house in Chappaqua, or I should say the Clintons had a bomb sent to them, Bill and Hillary. Obama had a bomb sent to him. George Soros had a bomb sent to him. And the list goes on and on. I think Biden, they just said today, Maxine Waters. So it's almost like every headline-grabbing establishment Democrat, where Fox News and, Daily Caller and all those right-wing sites, how they rail against these people all day long, those are the people who were targeted by, looks like, suspected pipe bombs. Now, at the moment I'm recording this to you right now, I don't know who's responsible for it, but regardless of who's responsible for it, there's a word for this. This is violence for a political or religious cause, and in this case, political. And the definition of that is terrorism. That's what that is. That's terrorism. So we should call it what it is. And listen, in my mind, again, regardless of who did it, that's an admission that your ideas suck. If you're going to do domestic violence like that, if you're going to do a domestic terror attack like that, what you're saying is we can't win with words. We can't win with our ideology and our philosophy. So what we're going to do is lash out and do an offensive attack, even though there's not a direct threat of violence against me. See, that's my standard for violence is there needs to be a direct, imminent threat of attack against you in order for you to use violence and it to be ethical and moral. Hillary Clinton, as much as I despise her, was not about to knock down the door of whoever sent these bombs houses with a SWAT team and shoot them in the face. And I have giant disagreements with these people who were the victims of this attack, but naturally that of course does not mean you should do political violence against them. That's insane. So this is where we're at, and it really does show that the country is divided, the country is fractured, and I've mocked the whole Civil War talk before, and I still mock it. But at the same time, there are people in the country, even though it's a tiny percentage, who would like to see some sort of a civil war, who would like to see violence break out and the left and the right, shooting at each other in the streets. And I think that's dumb. I think that's immoral. I think that's unethical. I think that's counterproductive. And I think that everybody should call it out across the political spectrum. What you're seeing is many people on the right, thankfully, are calling this out and saying, don't do it. But then you have idiots like Lou Dobbs, who just tweeted something like, fake news, fake bombs. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. And this is like the Alex Jonesification of the far right. It's like a mainstream Fox business host like Lou Dobbs has now gone full Alex Jones. And the whole reason is rank partisan politics. I don't know. I hate the Democrats. Therefore, since these attacks were targeted at Democrats, I'm just going to obfuscate and I'm going to pretend like I know it's a false flag. You don't know dick. You don't know anything, Lou Dobbs. You know nothing. You know nothing. So that's probably the biggest story that I've missed in the past few days. So I wanted to touch on that a little bit. And a final thing I wanted to say, well, it's cold here in New York, as you could tell with my hat. It was like 75 degrees in LA, and now it's 45 degrees here. But there's one thing that happened to Politicon. Now, and you could talk to the people, the great Secular Talk listeners who were there. I love all you guys. Thanks so much for showing up. It was really special to see all the support, and it meant the world to me. There was one interaction that I now feel bad about in retrospect, but I have to say I didn't want to come across like a dick, but looking back at it, I think I came across like a dick in one exchange. So there's this one guy who, as my day was over in terms of debates and panels and stuff, and I had just watched the Cenk Uygur versus Tucker Carlson debate live, and then on the way out, a guy came up to me with a book, and he said, "Hey man, can you write me a message?" And my response was, "I'll give you my autograph, sure." And I gave him my autograph, and he was like, "Oh, I mean a message." Now, I didn't know what that meant, and that's my fault, because after the fact, I kind of started to understand exactly what it meant. Just write a little thing like, "Hey man, good luck with your future endeavors. Much love, Kyle Kulinski from Secular Talk." But at the moment, for whatever reason, it didn't click, because I had spoken to well over 100 listeners to the show while I was there, and not a single one had asked me for a message. It was either I signed only maybe 5 or 6 autographs, and the rest of the people, it was just pictures that they wanted and maybe a short conversation. But this was the first one, and it was one of the last people who asked me for anything like picture, autograph, and stuff like that. And I didn't know what message meant. I was like caught off guard, and I was like, what does that mean? So I think that in not knowing what it meant, I almost slightly panicked a little bit, and I was like, I'm not going to write you a message, but here, I'll write you an autograph. And so I wrote him an autograph, and looking back at it now, I kind of know what he meant when he said write me a message, because a little part of me at the time thought, is this dude fucking with me? Like, are you fucking with me? You're telling me to write you a message. I literally don't know who you are, so what would I say? Like, that's kind of what I was thinking. But no, he wasn't fucking with me. He was just a nice kid who likes the show, and he wanted me to write him a short little message along with the autograph. So I didn't get it at the time, and for that I feel terrible. So I want to apologize to him, and of course if I ever see this guy again, I'll write him a message. So that was the one interaction I felt bad about after the fact, because I tried to give everybody a decent amount of time and talk to people and take pictures and sign autographs. So I just wanted to say that that interaction now, looking back at it, I would have done it differently. So I apologize, and I would write a message now. I just didn't get it at the time, and that's my fault, and I should have perhaps been able to get it. But anyway, that's my little update on what's going on. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. On Saturday, we'll do a Secular Talking Smack live stream. Hope you guys check it out. And I must say, there's no place like home. Happy to be home. It's a lot more relaxing to be at home. But I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.